one day and pass it the next day. Those documents were in offices and people read them. Of course, if a financial document comes to your office and you're not a financial person and you don't have financial experts in your office, you will be behind time.
I will send it to you. If you don't discuss it, don't.
No, I will discuss it.
Prove me wrong. The communication from the president say the financial instrument is sent to the House of Representatives on the 21st and will pass on the 22nd. While we were in session, my office staff signed for my own 1:30, and the instrument will pass 1:45. It will pass in 15 minutes. I want to challenge this and see let it come to your studio. Let me come there.
When if you pray for your people and yourself, I see that most of you on internet, what we're doing in Israel, why you are not doing Israel? One, you don't have the opportunity. Other people has. What you need to do is to pray so you can have the opportunity. We're in Israel. You don't need to be angry. I'm here now. All you got to do, touch me. Because we'll be transfer. You know what I'm saying? Don't be safe. If you touch me, it's so good to see you. God bless you.
That money is the money we stole. You don't know. I don't know the sources of Mr. Billy's money. So it's a dark money. Nobody, Mr. Billy, has not been able to convince Lecture where he getting all the money from.
Anybody who studied any of the mental science manuals, which is the DSM, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, before 1974, homosexuality was listed as a mental illness along with necrophilia, zoophilia, and pedophilia. The decision in 1974 to delete it as a mental illness was not based on science. It was based on an opinion poll of only 6,000 people. So clearly, homosexuality is a form of madness and mental illness. And what they need is psychological care.
Well, every person might be a doctor of another kind who can determine the health of people. But I'm moving around, and who should know best about their own health but themselves? So maybe he knows more than the doctors and more than myself, but he's still my son.
The things Zandankawa doing, no. If our young person was doing it, Zandankawa was going to scare them with cartel that nothing is that. That ain't get nothing inside. No power, no traditional power inside, nothing. Any traditional chief that gets smartphone and roller watch.
I beg you, sir. Right on this car.
Any traditional chief, as in the sense of soul and body and traditional chief, that got cell phone, that smartphone, will watch that.
Who has that?
Zanakawa. That papa is smart. And he just using job in his own. That man that no traditional man. Zanakawa.
Say they got to take it easy.
Hey, please, I'm speaking as senator. That man is greedy. He's unprincipled. He using these people in the name of traditional chief. He ain't get no power behind him. He have power behind him. When America is going to win. He can't even make a web win. In division number 2 in Grandmother Canada. He didn't want to make a win.
Thank you very much. I think it's that was last week Thursday. I had come back from an international assignment, and I heard there was a submission of the financing agreement in the tune of $60 million US. Firstly, to start with, I think the passage violates every rule of the House's procedure. As per our procedure, when a bill or a law is introduced on the floor, that law must be read 3 times. Most times, read the first time. Most times, sometimes the rules are suspended so that the second reading. It is unprecedented for a bill to be read or for an agreement of that nature where you are committing the country to 60 million indebtedness. You will bear with me that our debt portfolio now stands at more than $2 billion US. 3 months to the expiration of a sitting government to be entering a loan in that amount, especially using the wrong parliamentary procedure. It tells me that there has to be a motive, that there was a big rush. 60 million is not peanuts. In my view, however justifiable.
Wake up for your sleep. My sister, too long, we've been in our sleep.
and a pleasant welcome to Morning Live Sky 107.1 day of February 2024. My name is Matthias, and I'm here with my with a couple of things to talk about. Julius is
morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. I think the secret here is my wife. Everything that I do now is my wife. So we are good. I just got the hair because I want to get a new look. You sure I'm Martinez?
I don't know why you be laughing to back,
yeah, I don't love her too much because of the lace. That's one thing I remember. During the rainy season of June.
okay, yeah.
The dry season can be
What you
I know, but the point is that the dry season the heat can be too much. So why do I come and skip it? So why do I
touch it down a little bit?
touch it down, people will come back. Don't worry.
I know, certainly. We're going to go for a break. When we come back, we have a couple of things to talk about this morning. Liberia is an interesting country. And for some of us who run talk shows that end on Thursday, we have to come back. We have to wait Friday. Other guys talk other people, other issues. Then Saturday, people come with their weekend programs. And, maybe Sunday, some people do reviews of some other issues, right? And some stations. We have to come back Monday to sometimes recap some of the things that have been said. But, of course, taking those very things from different angles in a way that you see it from different perspectives, because we do not we give it a positive. And that's right. Welcome back to the program Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We are here. It's an interesting new week, and we've come here with renewed energies and so on. Look, if I tell you, should I say that? Listen to me. If I told you today that Matthias, we wake up every morning and we are happy, everything is okay with us, I lie to you. It's a big lie. Just now, if I just go on to explain what happened to me recently, you ask yourself, how do you guys go through all of that and you muster the courage to come and sounding so lovely? Do you know why? It's passion. That's the driving force. A lot of things happen behind the scenes in our personal lives, at our job sites, and in so many areas. I know you would say, yeah, but Matthias, come on. Those of us who are bankers, we experience problems in the banks. Sometimes you miscalculate certain figures, you have to go back and recalculate. And so those of us in the hospital, sometimes you make some surgical errors, and sometimes patients complain that the drugs you're giving them, the drugs are not working. Sometimes the patients themselves refusing to take the drugs, but they come by to tell you that the treatment you're giving them is not working. So every profession has its own challenges. The challenges in the media are enormous. Good morning. Welcome. Bookie, plenty things to talk about. Should I put it in a Liberian way? Plenty things to talk about, brother. I mean, let's begin with this issue of job hunt. All right. Or should I say entitlement, the sparrow of entitlement syndrome. This morning, I was going through it, reading the different dailies and so on and so on. I just coined it. I said, this whole thing I'm seeing is just what I would term as entitlement syndrome or sparrow of entitlement syndrome. I don't know why many people think that because they're Liberians and they're educated and they campaign, they got involved with the political process, that everybody must be hired to work for the government. There are many ways that you can even use government, as a person, based on your relationship. You can use the institution, that's the government, to explore in the private sector. There are many ways you get recommended to many areas. There are many areas you can explore. But Julius, what is happening of late? The latest is that of the chairman of the Unity Party. All right. It appears though that he didn't know about the protest, that the people assembled at the home of the president, and he had gone there to calm them down. But if you go back to listen to the things he was saying to the very people that gathered, if you go back to listen to the very things, the comments written about him, I mean, you would say that, well, I think his presence was a small screen covering the real thing behind the scene, that he didn't know about it. All right. I just came here as
when you say a PS, why are you insinuating that he knew about it?
Well, that's just my observation of it, of the entire scenario, of the entire situation. Okay. And I think, all right, I may be wrong. I'm a human. I'm observing critically based on the body language, the body language, his choice of words in addressing the situation with the people that gathered and so on, with the partisans that gathered. In fact, they're saying, where they say no job for the chairman, no government, and so on, and different slogans and so on, and people were coming away with flyers and placards. The chairman.
So they were saying that the president should employ the government,
the chairman, and they're also calling
the chairman of the party.
The chairman of
should
the party
hold a position in the government.
Yeah, in the government.
That is not wrong.
In the government, and at the same time, they're calling for the other partisans to get opportunities. So the chairman had arrived at the scene, and he is now addressing the situation. He's saying, "Yeah, you're right. All right, you're right. Of course, the people are right, right?" But he's going on to say, "Well, you're the one that labor for this thing. You must get a reward and all of that." And he goes on to say, "Well, right now, if there is an availability of space, we are available to serve." We is he speaking in the context
after calming down the
people? He started addressing the people. He said, "We are available if there's a space for us to serve." One would say that he spoke in the context of addressing the plights of all partisans that are qualified to work, referring to all of them as we. Now he was
including
not
himself.
Yeah, absolutely. That he was not just definitively saying that he's addressing the situation exclusively for himself, but the fact that the people would choose to go and gather at the home of the president and address this situation, singling out an individual who is the chairman of the party, that they're seeking that he gets some opportunities in the government. I mean, I smell something fishy. I smell something fishy. It is not, it seems like an organized something by the chairman himself. All right, that he just thought to go there, use the situation, address the people, let him be heard by the president, and that he's calming the people, but at the same time, he's calling on the people to always engage with their president. For 6 years, we did not witness a gathering of seditions at the home of Ambassador George Manuel Weah in demand for opportunities for their brothers. There were people that were here murmuring, they were grumbling. They called themselves disenchanted. You know the thing. There was never a day, most especially this regime is starting at this very embryonic stage. Someone is now coming out to say, let's gather at the home of the president and request for jobs. Well, that's why I call it the spiral of entitlement syndrome today in Liberia. Everyone thinks that there's a need that you go into government and work. The fact that you participate in a political thing, you come out, you have other things. Other people could be business people. Other people could go to school. Like Ellen Johnson said, did in 2006 when she got inducted. She sent a lot of people to school. Bwaka Jaliba, Mo Ali, all these brothers. Today, they are qualified people. Jacob Jala, all right, that expert when it comes to project proposal writing and his engagement with Jacob is doing well in the private sector. He's doing well with the NGOs. He's doing well with our international partners. You say it and so on. He's around. He gets contracts and things. Sometimes he gets 50, 45, or 100,000 something contracts based on his consultancies. So people should be able to explore other areas and things. Now, creating this picture that because we all participated in this process, we all must work. I mean, it is something that doesn't.
You think it's wrong?
It's not entirely wrong, but I think if we all tread on that path, we are not going to grow Liberia. We're not going to build Liberia. We're not going to think Liberia. We're going to think ourselves. We're going to think ourselves. We're going to build ourselves. We're going to build our homes and forget about growing the country. What is true that something seems to be happening? Something seems to be happening in the appointment of the president that sort of it's kind of discouraging people. With some of the names that are coming are appearing strange, are appearing unfamiliar, like the guy at the port, Dukley. Folks are saying, where is he from?
Where are you helping, Johnson?
Where is he from? We're going to go there. That's
what we so stranger.
Yeah, we're touching the various bases, and how we transition in our analysis. So we do not.
They're trying to bring it in because he said they are strangers.
No, certainly. So for example, you look at a guy at the port, Dukley. I'm told that he got a master's degree, port management or so on at the university in Minneapolis, I think Minnesota or so. All right, but he does not have an experience of managing a port from school. He's coming straight to manage the gateway.
And I think that was one of the shocking names. I was seated with friends. When was it? On Thursday evening, and they all from the US, and so we're seated and having some drinks together. All of a sudden, I saw this nomination list, by the president. So when I showed it to them, they all were surprised. Oh, who are this? Who are they? What are they asking ourselves? But the point is that the president need to do what he wants to do. I think he will appoint people who he thinks he can work with. So that's the first thing. If he can work with somebody, he can appoint them. For the issue of the Unity Party chairman, well, yeah, partially I want to agree with you. I think he was pretending as if he's not aware or was not aware of that protest. Because the latter part of his statement when he said that if the availability of job we are available, that means he also wants a job. He's not getting it. But let's look at it. The argument is there were people who were in the trenches, people who were behind Joseph Boakai from the world goal. Even some of them even went against President Sirleaf in this country.
Right.
When she became a former president. In fact, they used their strategies and stuff like that to even take off from the party. And so from the beginning, even before the election period, they have been with Joseph Boakai, President Boakai, going to the trenches, preaching his messages, especially when it came to that Bill Liberia, blah, 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 the first time. And now when it came to the arrest agenda, they were all in the trenches and campaigning for him. There are places he could not even reach. So they went there for him, and the message they preached that resonated. So that's what people are saying. So these are people you can announce. Matalo, let's look at it this way. I agree the president has his will to appoint people who he think he can appoint or he can work with, that he feel comfortable working with. But Matthias, you can't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batches of names released. And we don't see those familiar names. Those names that we thought that okay, now that the president is president, we'll see some guys who were fighting for him, who were fighting with him, to places he could not reach. They went there, they sat on radio station, they went to the television station, even social media, they were there every time. To the extent that they were even haunted by the past administration. Their names are not surfacing. So that calls for concern too, my brother. Let's look at it that way. That call for concern. So you want to tell me that, okay, he appointed people that I think can work with. So this guy that he worked with all the years before even they becoming president, were you not comfortable with them? Working with them? I mean, when they're serving in various capacities, at the party level and campaigning, were he not comfortable with them?
Well,
maybe you want to be experienced people, you want to bring people who are educated, but they are equally educated as well. Like, for example, he mentioned the name of Baka Jadiba.
Yeah.
Baka Jadiba left this country, he want to learn. President Salih saying under the country to learn. More Ali learn. I mean, these are famous names we're talking about. You see? So you leave them out for all the batches of names and people are raising concern. You now go on the Facebook page, you will see that there are people who are writing, the party partisans. Only a few CDC partisans you can hear talking about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But majority of those complaining or making this statement on Facebook, they are all United Party partisans, and there are people who we've been seeing in the vineyard who are being in the treasure fighting for the UP to come to power. So now they are complaining. The last time a good friend and brother wrote something on Facebook page, I called there laughing. Van Ross, I know how he saw that post.
Yeah.
Teacher, why? Teacher, why?
Yeah. People who deny
class, they didn't get lecture about it. Sometimes they have come off flying colors.
Yeah, flying
why?
colors.
So I call that thing, was a lecture, why? And I laugh, But these are people who fought.
But it is rather too early for this kind of clamoring.
It's early.
Yes, it's
early.
Yeah, to me.
But what kind of joy you want to give them?
Listen, Ellen Johnson said it did reshuffles here. They are there's reshuffle. There are some of these people they will mess up even before they go for the first 6 months in these positions. These people who are clamoring,
you can pray for that.
Well,
you can pray for that.
It's not a wishful thinking because this is just a fact about human. We're dynamic. Sometimes we come across like we have all of the expertise, but once we find comfort in a particular environment, we tend to implore incompetence in our performance. And if this president is someone that's going to stand for professionalism and competence all of the time, I'm very sure many people may not maintain their positions because obviously there will be errors on their part that certainly maybe he may not compromise. Okay, but just to step away a little bit. Is the statement made by Nimba County Senator Prince Yomi Johnson,
and the founder of MDR.
Yeah, the MDR, political leader. I mean, to say to an educated man, an elder, that he should know better. I mean, he should know better. The president should know better.
And my concern against Matthias is that why Prince Johnson will always call the president this 79-year-old man.
Well, I think
once upon a time he did in your church again. Yesterday, same thing. You always refer to him as the 79-year-old man.
That's what people said. For me, I'm taking cue from the point where people analyze that Prince Johnson. In fact, the conversation he had with a Nimba, a journalist from Nimba County, right, on the radio, and so on record, that spread around. In that recording, he said, "With the fighting for Nimba, the paper, that Jeremiah will be doing a job and so on." He mentioned that, but now he's the same person complaining that the president is not taking recommendations from Jeremiah Cohn. Jeremiah Cohn submitted names and he rejected those recommendations.
And he made mention of names that I'm friend of Jeremiah Cohn. That's the president for me,
right?
I mean, the minister of
Grisby.
Yeah, Grisby.
He's now singling out Grisby as the one that's undermining Jeremiah Cohn's, recommendations to the president. Now that is a contradiction.
So are we going to see the same thing that happened in CDC when people are blaming Nathaniel McGill?
Well, there are positions that you hold, whether you are doing bad or not, Julius. You're certainly going to carry a negative name. People will certainly raise concern that they think that you are the one, hurting them. You're the one hurting them in a way that because the president is not paying attention to their own concerns, right? But it's a contradiction with Senator Prince Johnson when he said earlier that this president would not be the one doing the job, but rather it is Jeremiah Cohn. Here he is now. He's the one crying baby. The president is doing, according to him, if it is anything to go by, the president cannot just take any recommendation, even though it's a vice president, from his vice president, but not every name that he submits will surface at the appointment table. Now he's talking about if, for example, Basso already has about 3, according to him. Basso has 3. I think Magibi has 3 in his explanation. He's talking about
no. Basso has 2
appointments.
Minister of Education and Mikat.
Okay, so no, but wait, just a moment. Without mentioning numbers of people appointed from any county, he's saying that Nimba County deserves about 5, 6 or 7 ministerial positions.
And you name counties that could not deliver the country to him.
So for example, so he's saying, for example, you gave Nimba County the justice ministry.
Very lucrative one.
You gave
very
Nima,
good one.
So he's
powerful ministry.
You gave Nima County Information Ministry. You gave Nima County Finance Ministry. You gave Nima County Commerce Ministry. You gave Nima County Gender Ministry. He's talking about 5 or 7 ministerial positions and managerial position, inclusive of managerial position.
I get you, but the point there is that looking at the way it stands now, Nima County has 2 ministries and very powerful ministries. They are the one controlling the security of this country, the Ministry of Defense and the Justice Ministry.
As for the Justice Ministry, I mean that is a struggling thing. It's not going to be a walk in the park for Councillor Cooper Crack, given that their concerns. All right, so he's not been confirmed yet, and this process might take a very long time because people are raising concerns about his unprofessional conduct as a lawyer. At the level of the Justice Ministry, the judiciary, right? There's a complaint about 150 page document filed that compiled, complaining him and raising concerns about unprofessionalism. So to have an unprofessional, unethical lawyer becoming Minister of Justice, you listen to Rodney here the other time, right? So he's even concerned more about that as a publisher. He's read that document and he's concerned that why is the president not listening to the media today when in fact we raise the same issues with former President George Weah. But Julius, another thing quickly, I just want to add before we go for the break.
There are disenchantments in the UP.
In the UP,
because Prince Johnson was one of the major allies, and you can't take that out. And he was clear. He said, "Well, Bomi could not deliver the country to him. They need contest." And he said, "But Nima County did." He said, "Even in the first Unlofa County."
Yeah, Lofa County betrayed him according to him. But the president now, President Boakai, told the Liberian people that in 100 days, no car will get stuck in a month. Perhaps it was a strategic statement made because he was going to come to the post during the dry season period, and 100 days would take us like 4 months, maximum 4 months, right?
From out of May. From the time he took power,
right.
I think to May.
So 100 days to execute this.
Not just roughly 3 months.
Right.
A few days.
Right. So to execute this mandate, this one would say a boastful ambition.
You want to call it boastful ambition?
It's a boastful one.
But every government that comes to power have 100-day
objective. Yeah, right. So this is a very big one. Is an ambitious declaration on the part of the Unity Party that in 100 days no car will get stuck in about it. Okay, it's not going to rain from now till May, but after May we should get the effect of the work done within the period of 100 days.
So in spoken context,
absolutely. so meaning the 100 days is going to be used
because of dry season.
Yeah.
So no more to be on the road.
So we also want to feel the impact. But now talking about delivering that quest, he's asked a man to help him in the area, and that's Roland Lafayette Giddens. Like Mo Ali, he's a mild communicator, mild in the sense that he comes to the discourse, he sticks to the subject, he's polite.
The message will go.
The message will go. So I just want to read something quickly.
Can we come back after the VOA?
Yeah, absolutely.
8 o'clock.
So it will be read back.
Yeah, let's come back after the VOA.
This is VOA News. I'm Tommy McNeil. Britain's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said Sunday that strikes on Yemen's Houthis were self-defense against the Iran-backed group's continued targeting of commercial ships and warships in the Red Sea.
I've been clear that I won't hesitate to protect British lives, British interests, and our diplomatic efforts are focused on bringing de-escalation and stability back to the region.
U.S. and British strikes were the latest sign of spreading conflict in the Middle East since war erupted between Israel and Hamas after the militant Palestinian group's deadly assault on Israel on October 7th. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday said that 17 out of 24 Hamas battalions have been toppled so far, and he vowed to complete the mission of wiping out the group. Still, as VOA's Veronica Baldarius Iglesias explains, there's a diplomatic push for peace going in the region.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan spoke about the matter on ABC.
The president has put his shoulder to the wheel on this. He has spoken to the leaders of both Qatar and Egypt, 2 countries that are centrally involved in trying to broker this deal. We are in constant contact with our Israeli counterparts on it, and Hamas will have to be willing to say yes to an arrangement that brings hostages home.
Sullivan noted the deal isn't imminent and no timetable can be provided. His remarks came after the United Nations warned Friday that the Rafah border area in particular is becoming, quote, a pressure cooker of despair for displaced Palestinians in Gaza. Veronica Valderas Iglesias, VOA News, Washington.
Meanwhile, Pope Francis reaffirmed Christian special relationship with Jews amid rising anti-Semitism since the outbreak of the Gaza war in letter to the Jews of Israel. This is VOA News. The United Nations highest court announced late last week that it has jurisdiction to rule on a request by Kyiv for a declaration saying it is not responsible for Russia's claim of genocide, the justification offered by the Kremlin ahead of its 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Details from VOA's Arash Arabasadi.
At The Hague in the Netherlands, the seat of the International Court of Justice, or ICJ, the body said it has jurisdiction to rule on a request by Ukraine saying it was not responsible for genocide. Russia used that claim to launch its invasion of Ukraine nearly 2 years ago. While a legally binding decision is likely still years away, Moscow says the court has no jurisdiction in the matter. And while U.S. support for Ukraine is stuck in congressional partisan gridlock, the European Union last week announced a robust 4-year, $54 billion aid package for Ukraine. Arash Arabasadi, VOA News.
U.S. Senate negotiators have released a highly awaited bill that combines a border enforcement policy with wartime aid for Ukraine, Israel, and other U.S. allies. VOA's Rick Pantaleo tells us more.
The proposed bill would also overhaul the asylum system at the U.S.-Mexico border with faster and tougher enforcement, as well as give presidents new powers to immediately expel migrants if authorities become overwhelmed with the number of people applying for asylum. Texas Republican Chip Roy says Biden administration immigration policies are destroying America.
It is a purposeful effort to deluge our society and to undermine our way of life, to destroy Western civilization.
The proposed $118 billion bill has been seen as the best chance for President Joe Biden to resupply Ukraine with wartime aid. Rick Pantaleo, VOA News.
President Joe Biden has listed a lot of reasons why he thinks a second Donald Trump presidency would be ugly for the country. He ticked through many of them on Sunday as he urged Nevada Democrats to vote for him in the state's presidential primary this week and for his party at large in November. In a fundraiser, Biden focused on Trump's history of provocative statements like his description of January 6 rioters as hostages before addressing several hundred people at a community center in Las Vegas. He asked his crowd to imagine the nightmare of Donald Trump. An official in the disputed oil-rich African region of Abyei says 37 people were killed over the weekend in fighting apparently tied to a feud over land. Bloodshed happened a week after 53 people died in fighting over land in the same region, which is claimed by both South Sudan and Sudan. I'm Tom McNeil, VOA News.
With nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Caught up in the land of regret. Wondering if God is still on my side. I've had my share of sorrow and grief. Look at these faces staring at me, hoping that someday the struggle will end. For all we know, we wanna be free. The fight for utopia is our only defense. of silence, come down, oh Creator. I question my tears, leave my fears behind. Why do they control me, indict me, question me, confuse me? They're demanding solutions, confrontation. Tell me if you know the answer. Say yes.
Okay, what is the answer to the problems we have in Liberia? I think it is Liberians waking up in the morning, realizing that they are Liberian first before they got the education they have. They should not feel that they're entitled to, jobs and things. Is that the right way to go? No, I think people are entitled. When they get educated, their country should serve them too. All right. But welcome to the program. We're here Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. We are privileged this morning to have with us on the first edition of the program this week, a female, which is something that we want to encourage more women to step forward and express themselves on subject matters concerning Liberia and our global village. I was saying something before we went for the break, and I'm talking about that individual. That individual is Madam Yuna Kumba Thompson. She's two-time Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. She's an author. She's a mother. Should I say feminist? But she's a women's rights advocate. Yes, she is a feminist, of course. So we're going to have a conversation. It's going to be a very fruitful one. But let me just use 1 minute of this time to tell you, members of the public, the person that's going to be helping Joseph Boakai to execute his 100-day ambitious quest that Liberians will not experience cars stalking in the mud. To have that dream come into reality, you need to appoint a technician. You need to ask somebody to help you in that capacity, and that person is Mr. Roland Lafayette Giddings. But what does Giddings bring to the table? So Roland Lafayette Giddings is an enthusiastic and professional person who enjoys being part of, as well as leading an insightful and motivated team to achieve established organizational goals. He's very quick to adjust to new ideas and applying innovative solutions to solving problems. He is a self-starter and is committed to the achievements that are in the interest of the general good of society. He holds strong principles and believes in upholding integrity in whatever engagement he's involved with. And evident of this one, I can say that when he left the Public Works Ministry and availed himself to the LACC or GAC for audit and so on, that there was no malfeasance found on his person. Roland Lafayette Giddings is currently the Chief Executive Officer of a management consultancy and logistics firm, Lafayette Services Incorporated, LASI. He has, to his credit, 11 years of professional experience in the public sector, specifically in infrastructure program and projects, troubleshooting, coordination, monitoring, evaluation, and oversight from 2007 to 2018 in several capacities. Program assistant at the LRDC Secretariat, a unit in presidency which was responsible to lead the drafting, launching, and coordination of the poverty reduction strategy. He served as head of Secretariat Economic Management Team in the presidency as a coordinating arm, which was responsible to coordinate the formulation of economic policies, reviewed and adjustment when required to stabilize growth in the economy. In 2010, through a World Bank project, he was hired as senior program officer in the President's Delivery Unit, which was responsible to troubleshoot, coordinate, monitor, and report on the implementation status of the heavy lift national infrastructure projects to include roads, energy, support, airports, etc. In 2014, lastly, he became Deputy Minister for Administration, Ministry of Public Works and Rural Development, responsible to perform and coordinate administrative activities to include financial management and control, monitoring, evaluation, and systemic reporting to ensure accountability and transparency of projects, financing, procurement of budget, activities, management of assets. He holds an undergraduate degree in business administration from the African Methodist Episcopal University with emphasis in strategic management and a graduate degree in business administration with emphasis in marketing from the Wuhan University of Technology, Wuhan, China. We're going to stop here. I think Lafayette comes to this place with some degree of qualification and expertise, most especially one of the major things that I think people must employ on a job. Qualification is one thing, but if you come with integrity, I'm very sure you can do you can achieve a lot. And that's one thing he has to his credit. Then since he left the public works ministry, there's been no report of corruption and so on his person. We have an astute personality in the studio, and that's a female, a powerful female, a feminist, a mother, an author, and 2 times former Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. Madam Yuna Kumar-Thompson, it's a pleasure having you here this morning. Happy New Year. Welcome to Sky.
Happy New Year. It's good to be here. Thank you so much.
Right, it's been a long time. How are you? How have you been coping?
Well, wonderful. We've been working. We've been doing a lot of things. So thank God we've seen the new year, and we're here.
And not just the new year, we have a new regime. You know, how did you embrace this new awakening for Liberia? Waking up one morning and realizing that George is no more, Boaka is now.
Well, I think it was a good awakening.
Okay.
Since indeed I was part of that since 2017.
Part of this arrangement?
Yes, I was part of this president campaign, you know, in every shape and form because I believed in him.
Right.
I believed that for Liberia to transition to a place of stability, continuous stability and sustenance, I believe that he was the best choice for the country to lead us at that time. And it didn't happen. And you can see now, you know, that yes, indeed, he was the right person.
What have we seen? It's barely 15 days.
Well, what I'm saying, we've seen from the 6 years, you know, the decisions that Liberians made to choose President Weah over now President Joseph Numa Boakai. It came to fruition because I was of the opinion that not only President Weah, the former president, was not capable in running the country, especially as we're moving from a 12 years, you know, rule of a female, but still we had a lot of things that were still not stable. You know, structures have been put in place, you know, and I felt a vice president, a man with experience, a man who served and seen from the inside Liberia moving from the war stage to witnessing to being part of a democratic process where they were elected and watching the repatriation, the settlement of the people, of rebuilding our infrastructure, of managing, you know, people's, you know, emotions and providing social services, and especially being a peaceful person. I felt that no other person would have better help us to now take 12 years into the next 6 years to sustain the gains that we've made over the 12 years, to sustain it and to begin to set a new trajectory wherein different people can come in and wherein also we had a leader now who will be wise enough, have enough wisdom to listen and to be more inclusive and to chart a new trajectory.
We have a leader now who's wise enough. That doesn't mean that the previous leader was not wise enough as compared to this one.
Well,
so certain decisions were not taken in the interest of the country.
Yes, you know, because at that stage, wise is not just knowing all. It's being able to see, for me, things in a more holistic way and be comfortable with yourself, beginning with yourself and asking yourself, what is it that I need to do? Where do we go from here? And being humble enough to know that this is what you've inherited, this is what is needed. Without fear and favor, a trajectory has to be set in a way that it is more than you.
And this is
a slogan, a slogan that I loved, that President Numa Boakai began with. It resonated very well with me. And I think if Liberia...
What is that?
Think Liberia. Love Liberia. Build Liberia.
That was 2017.
And it's now carried now. That was 2017. And it's so, if you sit back, if any of us can sit and hear that slogan, and policymakers and diehard Liberians, I mean patriotic.
Does the slogan sort of summarize our civic education? Like back in high school, we taught civics.
It summarizes everything. Think Liberia. What are you thinking of Liberia?
Your country.
Your country. What does this country mean to you? Okay. Where do you want it to go?
Okay.
What are those things that you want to see different? Think, what is it that I can do? Like John F. Kennedy would say, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country at all levels. At all levels. Think from the home, in the community, in the church. Think. Liberia.
I think someone is giving a simplistic explanation of this. Let's see love.
That's how I interpret.
How does love fit in?
Love,
think love and
love. And everybody say, "Are you a police? Are you crafting?" I said, "No. This is how I interpret it, and this is what drives."
So that's your own interpretation.
And this is what I think should be able, because from now I see it as there was a slogan, and now it's a policy.
Okay,
it should be a driving policy.
So anyone working with him, you don't need voluminous documents to read to guide you. All you have to do, go back to the slogan.
Go back to the slogan. It has become policy. Right. That should be a policy statement that takes into consideration our economic, our peace, our growth, everything facet of the country. Think Liberia, love Liberia. When you love Liberia, let's begin with those placed in positions of power, of authority, or those who want to serve, and you want to give back. Is it just a word? I love you, love you. Love is abstract. You have to see it. So love Liberia. When you think, what do you want to see? How do you interpret that love when it comes to service, giving back to people? When it comes to making commitments that affect the lives of the people. How do you love the country? When you put in a position wherein you have to make a decision. Do you make a decision for your personal gain? Is it for your family life? Or is it to impact the lives of each and every one? To heal this country, to put it to a space wherein when you look back, say, look at Ghana. Look at Sierra Leone. Look at Nigeria. Look at the USA. They got roads and they got water, and then the people living in harmony. What is it that you see when you say love? What is required of you to do so that not only you can feel it,
others can also
feel it. The nation can feel it. The world can feel it. Love Liberia. When we love Liberia, then I think that's where we'll come in and still become patriotic, nationalistic, not selfish, but very, very patriotic.
And then we build.
And then we build. Build Liberia. And then we build. What systems do we put in place? What is it that we do so that it becomes sustainable? It lives beyond us. Are we just building quick impact?
I like the way you put in it. But 2017 he came with the Think Liberia, Love Liberia, and Build Liberia. This 2023, right? He came with the arrest agenda.
It is still the slogan.
How do you?
No, I think arrest is the mantra, and then and Think Love, Build is
in everything. The thing is Think Love Liberia.
So for you wanted to be a policy. Think, love, and build.
I mean, frankly, if I'm by the president and we are sitting and advising, and we are supposed to, and you have served in it, you've come in and they've been appointing us, and we want to do. That's what's driving me. That's what I do.
Okay.
And I believe in the person because he's translating. He's telling you economically, think Liberia. Socially, think Liberia. Politically, think Liberia. How do we build Liberia?
So that's all aspects of life.
So yes, so I think the president, I think he doesn't have to. I think when you read his the State of the Union message, and even his inauguration speech, and the recent speech given at the UMU, There's selling points inside there. When I read it, when I look at it, I say, bingo, this is it. You talk about social, you talk about economics, you talk about infrastructure. Now, I think this is unique. This would be a unique legacy for Joseph Numa Boakai.
But let me ask
that
you,
he started with Think, Love Liberia, and it should translate beyond it into even our foreign policy. It dictates our national policy, our national agenda, and I think it should dictate our foreign policy if those who are being called, those who have been around and been asked to serve, I think they have a blueprint. And you can now look at all the agenda, 2030 agenda for development, and cut that into that unique thing that at the end of the day, Joseph Numa Boakai will be able to deliver.
And you come to this platform this morning, and in fact, discussing political issue with wealth of experience. You've served as deputy minister at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Is that deputy for administration?
Yes,
right.
sir.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and you are an author. You've championed the cause of women in this country in terms of women's rights. One of the latest and famous advocates you raised is the issue of the lady at the foreign ministry. Julius, if you remember, there's a lady who raised issue. I think
Wani,
right? Cummins, right? Rani Cummins,
yes,
right, in the US, and she was the one leading that. I organized a couple of press conferences and things. Looking at Ambassador Joseph Numa Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia, given your experience at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, having read comments from people both here and in the sub-region, leaders, world leaders, and so on, commenting and appreciating him, what do you think the jargons they're using, do their jargons reflect a Liberia in the eyes of our foreign partners that has reached at a point that is going to take a paradigm shift and get that kind of cataclysmic transformation under this Boakai's administration, given that, because if your foreign partners are not satisfied with your operation, you most of the time have a ministry called Foreign Affairs Ministry, but it creates no impact. How do you think we're seeing in the Committee of Nations by electing a 79-year-old man that Senator Prince Johnson keeps making mockery of every time he speaks?
I would think coming from that domain, from the foreign aspect, having served that in that capacity, and also being able to, at that point, deputized for the Minister of Foreign Affairs on a couple of occasions where I had to represent and speak for my country.
Right.
I know that Ministry of Foreign Affairs is the first ministry, and image and vision and is important, and forging relations with the nation worldwide, while promoting the policy, the national policy of Liberia, what we believe in, what we stand for as a people. The foreign ministry is very key to that, and everyone associated with it at the home office and out of the home office bears that in mind. And so when you mentioned about the situation of Wani with the then foreign minister, Kimaya, that was very, very key, because image and is very important. And what we translate, the national often dictates the foreign, how we are perceived, how we receive, how countries are made comfortable to come in and foster relationships and build and help us. So that's very key. And so foreign ministry is champion for that. And when we had on Kemea, when we had a woman where in the world body, and all of us today believe that certain things are not acceptable when it comes to women, and not only gender inequalities, and then the abuses and intimidation and discrimination in every form should be discouraged, should be ended. It's not only here, it resonates around the world. And men in power, especially when we say men in power, they've been the ones holding the power, holding the authority. So often you'll find that, men, come out with that thinking that I am, and the woman, I can do anything, and subject her to certain things because of whatever it is, the position. And we're saying no. And the awareness and the talk around the world is that, no, though we want women in power places, and we also want men to know, those in power, you cannot use sexuality
to intimidate
intimidate
a woman.
And woman, when that is done, it should be condemned.
So this situation with Wani,
yes,
what image did it portray of Liberia, and how would it have been handled if we had a wise president, in your words, like we have now, in your words, that this president is wise enough? If we had Boakai in that position at that time, when the woman was complaining at the U.S. embassy, Liberian embassy in the U.S., right? That, hey, this is not right, I'm troubled, and so on. How do you think it would have been handled under Boakai's administration?
Again,
and this case might also resurface, because at this she might still seek some redress to it.
Yeah, there needs to be a redress, and what it tells us as a foreign, as a first ministry, as the president, who is the chief diplomat of the country. The president is always and the chief diplomat, and image is very important, and whatever comes out of the country affects negatively or positively the world body. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is key to ensuring that, how Liberia is seen. She is number one to ensure that Liberia is seen in a positive light, beginning from the home front. The the former president, it's a prerogative of the president to appoint. That's the will and pleasure. However, I think the president should be very sensitive to the dictates, to what happens nationally and how it affects the country. I think President Weah did not pay attention to that, even though he proclaimed himself to be a feminist. He made many pronouncements to address inequalities and sexual violence against women in Liberia, even in workplaces. But here, you cannot do double standard. You cannot take a man or person, the first ministry, who's been accused of something, no matter, be it minute or it's not important, or it's just no truth to it. But the fact that a nation, a ministry of integrity, would do just that, will question and say, wait a minute, this is not about me. It is not about this man, this person whose profile is going to be risen because they have a position, but the profile of Liberia, think Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia. Is Liberia important to me? Are the women of this country important to me? No matter who they are, let me step back. Jobs can go. Somebody's looking for a job, they can get a job everywhere. But you cannot take back the integrity of the country when the damage is already done. It takes a whole lot to build than to destroy. And I think he didn't do that. He missed that. Now, I would think that Joseph Nima Boakai, President Boakai, will be sensitive as well to any issue that comes out
of whatever institution,
from the nation. And that's where I hope that everyone who's been on the rescue, for every boy and girl, every woman who may not be able to sit near President Joseph Nima Boakai, who may not be giving the opportunity at this point to serve, because service is not job. It's beyond job. I think people should not be looking for jobs at a certain age, at a certain level. I believe also being called to national service, holding a position, it means you are giving back. There are times you don't take pay. There are times you must be able, not just meeting certain qualifications, but I think that are written down, you must meet them.
This is a real caution to would be,
and that's why I'm just listening.
Yeah,
because there are people in the rescue mission alliances and stuff like that are complaining about the personal appointment so far, and some of them are not seeing their names. So what you say?
I see my name either.
I know. No, because the point is that they are all disenchanted. Even Prince Johnson, who was a major ally of President Boakai, yesterday said something about it. And
I think again, it's not so much. I'm not going to talk much about Senator Johnson. He's a great senator. What I'm saying, he's 3 times for the people of Nimba. And politically, no one, being a political person as well, no one should be naive and think that Senator Prince Johnson is the senator.
Yeah, he's a senator
of Nimba County.
Of course.
All right. The people find he there's no way he's forced anybody.
You voted him.
They voted him. So that says something, to me. I don't have to like it, but that's what it is. And so when he makes his remarks, being a part of a system, I think that's who he is. Now we have to look beyond, what he says or where he says it, how he says it, and again step back and say, and don't take it personal. And Liberians, unfortunately, those are when things are said in a place where it's not so diplomatic. I try to be diplomatic, not so sensitive, not so diplomatic, and it's taking in that way in the radical. Some of us are radical, but we think we come along with mixing it up, being soft and hard diplomacy. Your wordings, your actions, you constantly have to think about. Not everybody is like that. Right. So, okay, Senator Johnson is a senator. He's a hot senator. He blows, he goes in and that. But the bottom line, you don't miss the message. It's not where he says it. It's not how he says it should bother us. It's what do we do when the issues are raised? How do we handle them?
But should people be thinking, be feeling entitled? You were also in the trenches. You are educated as well. You served that ministry, the foreign ministry, for 2 times in the very same position. And so maybe, who knows, the president might send you somewhere else in the coming months or years or so. Who knows? He knows he's the best to make the decision. But what I don't get is that this clamoring for jobs, it's too much
because they campaign for the party. So
does it demonstrate? Yeah, Julius, does it demonstrate the 3 words that the president that you admire so much from President Boakai? Does it demonstrate thinking Liberia, loving Liberia, building Liberia when people are all over that it is their entitlement? They must get jobs at this time.
Again, I think it from, should I say 2 levels or 3? You have the general public. You have the general public, the masses, the general public, the electorate, these foot soldiers, who went out, and did so much. Then you have the middle, those who the powers that be, who came in with their resources. Some came with money. Some of us talked. Some people were strategists. Everybody was doing something to win. So it's not everybody you saw on the ground going on the trenches and running door to door. While you were running door to door, some were there mobilizing resources. Some were there reaching out and making connections. Some were negotiating in the night. Some people were targeted. So many things happen. But I think now we have to sit back. I think for advisors, and that's why you will say maybe advisor. And the president doesn't know it, or he's not God.
No.
But I think when you have expertise and the advisors and people that you have around should be aware of all of this long before now. People are looking for jobs. Who are those looking for jobs? Who are those instead of service? Because I gave. And the country is such that we've never gotten to change the mindset that position don't make you. People want to be seen. People want to be recognized, honorable, the minister, the so and so, and people want that. At the same time, we'll cry and say no money, to pay, but people want those jobs. Okay. Now, the Liberians have to hold those positions. You have to be a civil servant, and you have to be an executive or appointee, or you have to be an elected in those 3 forms.
Or you work in the private sector.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you know yourself and you've worked hard and you are in the private sector, why would you want to leave the private sector that is more, that even is much more better to help Liberia. When the right environment is created.
But you just said when you come to government job to serve for service.
Yeah.
So in the private sector, the person thinks that their paycheck, they're taking it home, they directed to their families and thing. Yeah, taxes are deducted and so on. But if you enter government, you are directly serving your nation. You're directly serving your people.
No,
so
when I'm saying public service,
right? That's public and private. These are two areas.
That's the public service I'm talking about.
Right.
When you come to an executive position, as high as it is, be it at an appointed position that is through confirmation, legislative, you come to public service, and that demands, in my view, your own self-empowerment. As well, to be able to give, to serve without holding and saying. And I think also from time immemorial, because we've come in and we've politicized governance. That is happening now. The nation didn't.
Government is a political.
No, I said governance. We politicized.
Governance, right.
You politicized it. That is to say, from the beginning of this country, it was not more so, what do you have? It was not based on merit. Key in appointee or coming to public service at this level was, do you know who I am? Who are you? What are your connections? Who are you related to?
Who your friends are?
Who your friends are? What social places are you seeing? Then how much you have. That's the fundamental of governance, or how the country brought people into governance.
And that hasn't changed.
And that has not changed much. In fact, now it's polarized. It's to the point where we saw so many parties coming on and everybody coming in. Now it has become polarized. I gave you something, give me something back. Because this position here.
So it is a form of give and take.
It's a give and take now at the expense of the nation. When we came back during the interim government, when we came back from the war, I was out of the country. We played a major role in Accra for the peace process. And I had not been into Liberia, So I was just being patriotic and gone into the Accra peace process with the women movement there. And thereafter, I went back on to the States. And while I was away, I don't know what happened here. I have no idea because I have not been here. And then my husband called me and said, "Oh, they are looking for you. I said, "What is it?" I said, "Where's this Yuna? Where's this woman? She was in Accra." So she's not here. Said, then they were looking for women. They said, "Well, we understand she did political science. She studied political science. We need somebody. We need to send her." They said, "Oh, Yuna did political science." That's how I think my name came out. And I was appointed Deputy Minister for Administration, Foreign Affairs from that. And then I came back home. But
it was not based on connection.
It was not based on
you're pointing at here.
Yeah, it was not based on connection. All right. And I had no idea. That was my first experience. But then when I came into the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, then I realized that all the ministries were divided according to how they call it. The political lead, the warring factions. The ministries are divided by warring factions.
Yeah.
That was after the war.
After the war. And my minister then was Thomas Nimle Yaya, who is now Senator of Grand Jide.
Yeah.
So he was the minister. So I didn't understand all of that. So I'm simply saying that we came along with that. And it's just transcended. It's just going and going. So after that, now you have, when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, President Sirleaf was elected, it all became again on the party line. When my people, it went on three ways: the party line, the loyalists,
the supporting line,
and the last was
the patronage line.
The patronage line, and last was the merit line. So definitely, you carry on that on. You don't change that. Well, so that's the same thing now. It's just that more men and women, young, all of us are becoming more aggressive. And I say, look here, because when I work hard for you, when you get there, you forget about me.
But I don't want to add this question. I want to get this clarity.
Right.
So that means that You were appointed based on qualification. You were not appointed because I know you or you work for the party or you work for whatever.
No, I wasn't.
But that's the notion of others out there who probably say, well, we work for the party, we campaign, so we have to get jobs.
But that's a notion that all of us, because you see, what happens is that, and it's a sad thing, but it is not something that we should frown on. I think we should look at it very keenly and know that this is not the right thing. Or think Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia. It's going to take time for us to change. Now it's left with those who are in that decision, who have ears to the president. It's left with those who are the advisors to think beyond themselves and not get upset and understand that, first of all, you need to understand something before you advise. So they don't understand, they need to have understood that this is going to happen. How do we communicate to each and everyone that we see who's played a major role? Not everyone can be put into the into these positions. Like I had a girlfriend, people calling me. People assume minister because you are Minister of Foreign Affairs, because my proximity or whatever relations or saw me acting with saw you, being with the president, you running. When thing you do, you gotta be this way. We got to send you there. And what I told them, I said, the president, we should pray for wisdom. That's always been my word to everyone who said to me, let's pray for wisdom. He's a humble man. Let's pray that he continues to be wisdom. And those that are around him, those to whom he rely on besides God to help him make some critical decisions.
That he succeeds.
That he succeeds. They should be able to think Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia, and not be and let him be wise enough to know that this is the way to communicate. Those who are running and asking for jobs now and standing, you find out they are pushing the young people.
Even they are protesting. Some of them want the president how to protest.
And Julia, let me just use this time to inform the public that this morning, while making my way here, I got information from a reliable source that even today there might be a protest at the home of the president because Nimba women are feeling agitated, according to the information. Now, folks from Nimba County might assemble today. This thing that Prince Johnson said about Nimba being marginalized and he's seeing strangers and things, Madam Thompson mentioned a couple of things, and people may interpret it from different angles and they act based on the speakers. And that's the reason why, Julius, I usually say, once we come to public and we've become prominent in the society, we must mind the way we take position on certain subject matters. Because you may not know, someone silently is dying to take every inch to them, whatever you say is an instruction. If they do not act on it, they feel guilty that they are not loyal to you. You're not seeing them. So leaders have to be careful. And before we go to the lines, my old man from the UPP, Mr. TQ Harris, he sent me a message a couple of days ago. And this is a photo of a lady. I don't know who. I think she must be an author. He says, the message says, the greatest want of the world is the want of men. Men who will not be bought or sold. Men who in their inmost souls are true and honest. Men who do not fear to call sin by its right name. Men whose conscience is as true to duty as the needle to the pole. Men who will stand for the right though the heavens fall. Imagine you're standing for the right, the heaven is falling, but you stand for it. So I don't know whether we have these kind of people in our society, but I think Double Jala stands out to be that man.
Double Jala.
Let's open the lines and hear from you.
I stood up.
All right.
For one
yeah, certainly. Let's not forget. You now come at time saying, I mean, when other women were afraid, do you know what she did on the confirmation hearing of Kemaya? She trooped. Should I say she took a troop of women and other civil society actors at the grounds of the Capitol building. She was engaging with senators through emails. Are you both still going to go and confirm that, man?
Yeah.
Without hearing from this lady? Is this how we're going to make the nation? The world is watching us. This man she was there. I cover it. And so yes, she stood for
so you stood.
Yeah,
exactly. Congratulations.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, let's hear you now. 0777-777-107, 0777-221-223. If you are watching out of Liberia, the WhatsApp number is +231-777-221-223. Once again, 0777-777-107, 0777-221-223. Let's go to the line for the first caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Is that Momo Foley?
Good morning.
Momo, your line is breaking. Let's hear you quickly.
Yes, Momo Foley.
Momo, change your location small now. We ain't getting you. Your line breaking you. No, we ain't getting you at all. No, continue changing. Okay, we get you now. We get you now.
Let me say good morning to the studio guest. And she spoke very well. And that
I think his line is still bad.
Momo, we can't get you. You need to
let him just.
You need to change your location and call back, please. Your line is terrible. We're not really getting you. Sorry for that, though. But you have to just change your location and call back. Let's go back to line 1. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
My name is Solomon. I join you from Johnsonville.
Solo, let's hear you.
Good morning to the studio guest.
Just listening.
I think the public, what she discussed, it was significant. It is very important to communicate with the public the right way. I think that's something she's doing there. But a lot of people who seeking for job, it doesn't mean that because you run campaign or you are in the trenches, they should just give you job. Let us wait. I think today is the 13th days of the government. We have more than 4 years to go. A lot of people can serve for the first 2 years. And later they will bring other people on board. It's based on the work that you're going to do. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, man.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go to line 2 quickly. Good morning, line 2. Good morning, line 2. Are you there? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear you 30 seconds. Okay, he's gone off the line. Let's go here, line 1. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Josh, and let me say good morning to Matthias.
Good morning.
Is that David E. Harris?
Thank you. This is Zach F. Bembo. I'm the co-chair for the Independent Tag Team for Good Governance, and I call from Upper Corwell.
Let's hear you.
Julius, let me commend the madam. She has spoken well, and that is the reason why we think not everyone who worked in previous government is bad. There are people who work there regardless of their political affiliation. They are Liberians who perform well. And I such President in his wisdom should see reason to ask for those people. Why it is true that others will say there are others who are qualified in these places, it is better to have people who have had experience in that implementing to continue the good work than to bring new breed of people who will just be learning on the job and the country will not be progressing. So I want to call on the president's office to speak to his concern that the madam can do because I think she's actually doing well. Thank you for
Thank you.
Who the madam in the studio? He's recommending that she be appointed.
Are you advocating for her?
Liberian people, I swear. All right. I mean, maybe he likes her articulation.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but once you come with objectivity on the platform, I'm very sure you're going to woo people towards your direction. But let's hear from another person.
Yeah, 0777-107, 0777-221-223 are the numbers you can call to participate this morning. I think advocating for her. It's not bad to advocate. I know the person are looking at direction anyway. Maybe you're meeting your same position. Let's hear you 0777-107, 0777-221-223. If you're watching out of the country, the number to call is +231 777-221-223, and of course that's a WhatsApp number. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
My name is Prince Fan. I join you from Mount Barkley.
Prince, let's hear you.
Let me tell you this. Prince Fan.
Let's hear you.
I want to tell thank you. I want to tell your studio guests thank you for narration this morning, and she spoke very well. And just what she said is what we are facing. That these are the problems our leaders facing in the country. We don't have patience, and when things happen, when we even support somebody, we just want for things to happen right away. So I really admire how she discussing the issue this morning, and how we should live and we should be patient with everything. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. You can also place your call on the numbers 0777 or the WhatsApp number is +231 777 221 223. Only for those of our colleagues and maybe followers who are in the diaspora can call the WhatsApp number to participate this morning on the show on Sky 107.1 FM. The program is Sky Morning Live. Of course, your host Mataya Labendi, and of course Julius Boki. Let's go back to line 2 and talk to the scholar. Are you there? Okay, let's go here to line 1. Line 1, good morning. Good morning, Momo 40. Your last day bad, my man. Okay, let's hear you in 30 seconds.
Thank you. Let me say good morning to your studio guest. Julius, she spoke very well, and I think I enjoy her elaboration. She spoke on what Waka said, think labor, build labor, and love labor. You know, that slogan, some of us who support Waka, that slogan will rescue this country because that slogan is very sweet and fun. But those who are trying to protest for job, I think they have to wait small because Waka have started his first 11 players to start games. And if you know, sometimes those who on the bench are people who can redeem the team. So that will wait, or those who are qualified, let them wait to see the first player start the game. If they don't perform, definitely they will not come back to power again. Because I believe to my own reform, you know, the government is a government that always going for 12 years. So I believe that when you work to the expectation of the country,
Let's talk about the says here friend.
Because they say their brother will set the pace for Jeremiah for 2029.
Thank you.
Thank you for a 40-minute time.
Thank you. Line 2, good morning. Good morning. This morning, line talking to you. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Are you on talk? What's your name?
Hello?
Yeah, you are live.
Okay, good morning, Julius. My name is Sidiki Musa Mutukula Dole. I'm joining you from District 17. You can call me Quimby Gio.
Let's hear you.
Let me say good morning. Sorry?
Let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, okay. Let me say good morning to our mother in studio. I think she has said it all. But the issue about the appointment now that is going on by the president, our elected president, Ambassador Joseph Imambaka, I think the Liberian, like the young folks, we need to manage our expectations. We have given Joseph Boga a 6-year mandate. He hasn't even performed for 1 month. The entire country now, people try to escalate. He's not appointing people of their choice. This appointment need about 3,000 persons, and we haven't even gone somewhere. Why people are crying around the place? They want to bring a CDC scenario by while the party chairman will explaining everything about the president. We don't want to go for that. We want everybody to remain calm. Let us give the president a chance. Let him do whatever he's able to do in the right way, in the right interest of the Liberian people. But for people to be crying for now for job, I think it's the wrong way. We're not in the rain and sun because we want everyone to get a job. The private sector stay available. These are just eminent appointments that the president is making. So I think the party chairman and all hierarchy of the party, let us hold our heart and see a legal thing to be done by our president. Thank you.
Thank you. 5 minutes to go, Matthias.
Yes, maybe we can squeeze in one more person if no one is there. We have
let's talk to the very last caller.
Right.
Let's talk to this last caller. Good morning, line 2. Good morning.
You know, Julius, there's a guy.
Okay, let's talk to this one.
Okay.
Line 1, good morning.
Morning.
Morning, sir. What's your name?
My name is Bill Jackler.
Let's hear you, Bill.
Yeah, okay. I listened to my one on Deeks. I know that she really.
This is not Mawana Dix. This is Yuna Kumbatamsen.
Okay, but no matter who that person is, the person really elaborated well.
Okay.
What I should say here is that one thing that she is saying that, you know, the people that are on the ground, the people that are in the diaspora, some people spend money, some people put in time to vote, and some people, all of these spheres of people. But what the people are saying, we who supported the Unity Party, what we are saying here is that the president should know that not everybody that is appointed should be from the diaspora, and not everybody that is appointed should be from the ground. Let the president try to make a mixture so that the confidence level will increase. You don't expect people to do all the dirty work right here, and somebody spend $10, $15 from over there.
But how you know that $10 the person spend?
No, look, it's symbolic. It's symbolic.
No, it's symbolic. No, I got it. No, I got it. No.
It could be $1,000. It could be $10,000. But I'm saying that it is not just about the money. People were not bribed to vote right here, because if you put the money factor and you said people were bribed to vote there, the money did not vote. And, you know, it is people that voted.
Thank you.
You know, the president has to look at some right on the ground here too, and not only people from the diaspora. So this is what the people are saying. This is what we are saying on the ground. And so people should not trivialize it to say, oh, people are looking for a job and people are looking for a job. The private sector they're talking about. Okay, let me put it like, from me, I'm a journalist. You know, I'm a media practitioner and I'm a communication specialist. Now, I don't have a company that I'm operating right here. If the private sector have, you know, jobs, you know, the same kind of thing where you have to be connected before you get a job, it is there. When I send my application, somebody read somewhere, we have some other person who may not even know the job well, and then they will say, oh, that my person employ them. So how do you think I can go through the sector? You know, people should always be able to rationalize.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The argument.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your call this morning.
Julius,
Our very last caller.
Yeah, we don't have much time now. We have to close up with the madam. We have 1 minute. So are you in country or you in and out?
I've been here.
You've been here? Yeah, I know you were here throughout the elections.
I've been here.
So you said the ministry?
And you're not going out? No, she left the ministry. She left the ministry for something.
I live here. Yeah. I live here. When I do go out to, you know, everybody working.
Right.
Turn around, you know, go to meetings.
Well, why aren't you, you know, demonstrating entitlement too, like others are, but rather you came here to calm the storm that is already blowing, you know, roofs or
she's a diplomat.
Yeah, homes and all of that.
She's a diplomat.
I mean, the way you calm the storm, this when I wonder some of the guys are out there.
They're listening. Yeah.
You need to come back. I mean, we need this kind of conversations.
I think that's what we need. That's what I always, for me, that's my discipline, that's my work. And even as I advocate, is on facts and issues. And when you do things, when you say things that are not for show, not to impress anybody, that are actually, you feel that you can go to bed and sleep at night. You can stand up and say, well, thank God, you know, I don't need man to validate me. God has already validated me. I think you can stand up to certain issues and know that whatever it is, there's a protection in the facts. And you know, so I think all of the concern, what is it? The president has wisdom. All of us Liberians, serving, working everywhere, we want change. It begins with ourselves. Those of us, those that are standing and hearing and helping to guide the president, think Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia. The people over there, the civil service want to keep their jobs. When you come and you're fortunate to get a position, don't try to move the other people that are there. You go into work. All right. Because
they are Liberians too.
Yeah, they are civil servants.
Once you are thinking Liberia,
they are civil servants as well. So when you're sitting in there, go out in your corner and calm your people. You know, you can work, you can make this country better. If you don't know business, that's okay. You're looking for a job, you should hold this government to create, all of us to create opportunities, a conducive environment to create jobs all around the county.
Thank you.
All around our county. So that's it.
Thank you.
We think Liberia, we love Liberia, we build Liberia.
Hope I'll pray that you and I go visit Lufaso.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
you guys are just 2 streets away from each other. I'm far away. I'm all the way from Foya.
Yeah. We are in the homes.
Julius, don't make this show to turn like Lufaso solidarity.
We are in Kolaun district.
Okay, I'm in Foya. But anyway, but that's all the time we have for today's edition of the program. We had a privilege to speak with a seasoned public servant who's worked at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you know, as Deputy Minister for 2 times and all of that. She's a feminist, she's an author. She championed this one economy situation there in the US, complaining about issues on the foreign exchange. I like for explanation about the way we should approach the issue of jobs, the way we should approach Liberia. If we all think Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia, I'm very sure nobody will want to do it.
Of course.
My name is Matthias.
I like the way you come this morning.
Right.
And I hope that you always do that. so that those that are fighting for it will know that we did not fight for God alone. Have yourself a wonderful day. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be here again. Bye-bye.